This is an email we've had saying, Carl, what do you take by the well-known saying, a stitch in time saves 9?
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I, again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
what does willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
So
but what
good.
does a stitch in time
So
save
you
9
understood willy-nilly, so you used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
you
nice,
used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you've sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of. So
It's not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches, and that, of course, is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours is, this is what you want it to be a quote, right? Where, well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it is,
anyone
though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it, because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been," and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a little a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop
are we in?
They. What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index finger?
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is, we've got.
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Yeah, would you prefer it to
A
be
mechanical thumb, a robot thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do
Are
that.
you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella's
A
popping his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go
though?
in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They take your testicles, yeah. That's...
Yeah, but it's all building, and you've sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right?
Yeah.
And they crept up and went, bang. You go, what are you
prefer
doing?
that?
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, it seems to be all right.
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves 9." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
You would get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Suzanne would come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Harry from Canterbury wants to know whether any of us have ever had any cruel nicknames. He claims that he's quite tall and rather hirsute, and he says he's often called Lurch or Wolfie. He's always thought that Carl looks a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. No, there's no potato that round, but I suppose you could fashion a potato to be that round.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, if anyone can carve a potato into the roundest head ever, pop a couple of eyes on it.
Make it look as much like Carl as possible.
Exactly.
But yeah, any nicknames? Did you ever have a nickname, Rick?
No, mine was boring. I didn't have any. It was just around the name, like Gerv or something like that. No, I didn't have nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname. I just thought it was quite cool for some reason, particularly because gangsters always seem to have nicknames.
Lefty.
Fingers.
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah. Scarface.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I thought, because no one was giving me a nickname at school, it was kind of annoying, or certainly not to my face,
Yeah.
that I decided to just come up with one.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at lunch once, and I just said to my mate Phil,
How old were you?
12, 13.
Brilliant.
I just said to him, Phil, don't know if you know, mate, but people aren't calling me Steve anymore. Everyone's calling me Spud now. Now, I don't know why I thought Spud. It's weird. We should talk about Mr. Potato. I don't know why I thought Spud was a cool nickname. I think
It's a grown-up name, though, isn't it?
and it's also because I think it sounded like it was probably either something that you'd find in one of those kids' books, like the Famous Five, or like the Bash Street Kids. There'd be Spud, and I always imagine with Spud, he's not the leader of the gang, but he's a reliable member.
I think
You know what I mean?
Spud is the biggest lorry driver in one particular sort of car park.
Yeah.
And here comes Spud.
Yeah.
And he gets out, right, boys. And he's big and massive. And Spud can eat 2 breakfasts.
Exactly, yeah. But I just, in my mind, it was, that I would be one day part of a gang, and it's, I'm Pinky, this is Jojo, and the tall guy's Spud.
And it didn't catch on, did it?
Really cool. And he just went, oh yeah, right. And no one started, and I was hoping he'd go, everyone's calling Steve Spud.
Yeah.
But of course-
Hey, Spud. The first time I said Spud, you go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be really proud, wouldn't you? No.
Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of people on the estate that I grew up on. Nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping around in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing. So there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Well, he had sex a lot, or he worked in a prison?
No, he had a DIY shop. so you had him, right? There was Fred the Veg,
Yeah.
which is
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
There was my uncle, Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah, he had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my
Right.
God.
The problem was, because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm were really good. Because he was right-handed. On his right arm, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Did
And
he
that-
always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. Why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it. I mean,
Here comes Jimmy 3 Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from I had a CB. Like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the, was it late 70s, early 80s?
Early 80s.
And it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly. I think it started off with like
Lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it?
that.
Yeah, truckers, yeah, because there was that thing from like about 1977,
Convoy.
whatever it was, Convoy, yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and the handle. I had two
Handle
different
mean
names.
is your nickname, your
Yeah,
name.
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had there was Pilkio one, because
Right.
like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester. So if someone wants Pilkio 2, it's open. Do you know what I mean? They can have it. And then
Like it's people scrabbling. I want a Pilkio one.
and then because I did boxing and that,
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
I'd Boxer Boy, because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Boxer Boy in that.
Yeah.
So just had them two, and I used to just go on there and.
Pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So-
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" They go, "Box Boy." What's yours? Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but then
ridiculous.
you'll say like, then you go, oh, what's your 20?
What's that mean?
That's where are you?
Well, why don't you say, "Where are you?"
Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like, I go, oh, you keep saying that, what's your handle? And they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on, and tell me the code then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where are you?
This is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old are
what
you?
time is it?
No, how old are you?
What? How old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning? Of course.
Yeah.
So what's the answer? Come back.
You go,
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code. That code. There's no one gonna work that out. I wish you'd have kept a diary of this because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go, side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means, like, there's someone sat there listening into this chat and going, this sounds interesting.
Yeah. No. It doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And they want to join in, so they sort of go side on, you go side on, bring it in, right? And they go, alright.
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your 20?
That's it goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 15?
A retro cut there, Thin Lizzy. Don't believe a word on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Bubba-doo-boo, who's that over there? It's Carly Pilk Boys. You alright, Carl?
that's clever.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, yeah.
Yeah, come on, up, bigga bagadoo. Up, yeah? Project. There's people out there wanting to, cheer up their Saturday afternoon. We're the boys for it, yeah? We're like quick fitters.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, Carl?
Yeah.
Come on.
Come
I'm
on.
alright, I'm up for it.
That's it. This is the height of excitement.
This is it, is it?
That's
This
how
is
you
you.
sound when you're 100%
This is you
excited.
off your head, is it? High on life. Christ. What did Suzanne say about you saying about a big ass? Go on.
She heard about it.
Should we recap
Yeah.
what happened last week?
Well, the week before, he said that her haircut looked like Dave Hill from Slade. She didn't like that. So next week I said she was a bit grumpy. He went, yeah, I didn't mention her fat ass. Still thinking that she would never hear about this.
Yeah.
What happened when you went home?
She heard about that off a mate,
Yeah.
and we sorted it out. Didn't have to buy her anything. I just sort of said, come on, you know what the show's about and that. Stop moaning. Right. That was alright until about Thursday, when I was reading about, do you know, like they say, there's like two worlds and that, and whatever I'm doing now here, there's another one of me doing the same.
Yeah. But,
Well, no, he's probably taking some time off. He's probably having a week off.
yeah. Go on.
But I was just talking about that, and she was saying, nah, that doesn't happen. And I sort of said, well, they definitely won't have a haircut like yours. Right?
Then
And
again.
that sort of started the
Yeah.
argument again.
It's almost like you haven't learnt your lesson. Also, it's like you're talking about it again on air almost, in a way, so our mates can hear again. It's
Well,
very short.
Shall we do it
learning
again
curve.
now? Shall we
You
do
know,
it again?
you know, Carl, if there was if I cut a hole in a box and you knew there was an orange in there, right, and you put your hand in, would you be stuck there trying to get that orange out, do you think? Or would you just like let it go and sort of tip it upside down to get it out?
What do you mean?
I think that answers your question. Is that a cardboard box on your hand? So, is there any other things you want to criticise Suzanne for while we're on air? Anything else? Anything that's been niggling that you feel you should get off your chest? The hair, the arse.
Nah, leave
No,
it.
everything
leave
else
it.
is
Yeah,
fine.
leave it.
Leave it. I think so.
Okay.
That's good. I think leave it. Well done.
Now, can we just check what other big Carl features have we got today? We got Monkey News.
Got Monkey News
That's
coming up.
important, yeah.
Yeah, got a bit of got Rockbusters
Uh-huh.
and the film thing. That
Still not got a name. The
Yeah.
film thing.
just me in a film and that.
Mhm.
And
Brilliant.
this week we're digging out the old the one when I'm in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right, so you're going to make
Jack
an appearance.
Nicholson, brilliant film.
Yeah, brilliant film. It was my favourite film till I saw Godfather.
It's better than that.
Well, yeah, some would say that, yeah.
No, it is. The storyline's more interesting. Than
I
that,
didn't know
innit?
there was an actual answer. I didn't. Sorry, it's what's best?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Is it?
Nest.
Okay.
fact,
Oh,
Rick.
oh, right. Okay. Where's Godfather? Because I want to know, because I don't embarrass myself. Or is it my fourth favourite film or something, or?
Probably about 5th.
Is my fifth favourite film, is it? Brilliant.
Talking of lists,
I suppose I like Kez and the Elephant Man, do I?
Do you?
lists, Rick. I don't know if you saw in the paper. I think it's on TV this evening. It's as voted for by viewers of VH1,
Yeah.
the music channel, and they've basically come up with a list of the greatest pop culture icons ever. There's 100.
Where's
total.
Elvis?
So Elvis, for instance, is number 3.
Jimmy Dean in there?
James Dean is in there. I think he's a bit lower. Let me see. He's number 22. We got David Beckham at number 1.
Oh, well, okay, well then, so Robbie Williams is in there, so it's British bias.
Yeah, Robbie Williams is number 9. He's just below ABBA.
Oh,
Number
okay.
8. But interestingly, this is of interest to you, I think. Number 66,
Yeah,
The Office.
that's right.
Well, it is, Rick. It's nice that the show is in there, and that's
Yeah.
a very flattering thing. I tell you what cheapens it. I tell you what undermines it.
Yeah.
The things that are lower in the list than the show.
Oh, God, so we've beaten...
Well, I'll
on.
give you a little test.
Yeah.
Higher or lower? Do you think this is higher, near the top of most important pop culture icons, or lower than ours? Okay, I'm going to give you Superman.
Well, international, been around since the 30s, one of the biggest icons on the planet. I'll say higher.
Lower.
But, yeah.
Ludicrous.
Okay.
Do you think higher
So-
or lower? Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. This guy's been to the moon.
Well, I'd say lower then.
Lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that saying the people behind the rocket or just him? Because he just sat in it, didn't he? He just sat there,
Yeah,
he didn't do anything.
No, but it's
it's
the
what
icon.
he's
it's
symbolic
not,
of.
It's not how much work went into it.
Alright.
A few others.
What about things like Coca-Cola?
Oh no, they don't really count. It tends to be.
Oh, so
for
it's
some
not-
reason, They don't feature. I mean, Mickey Mouse is in there. What do you make? What do you reckon? Tom Cruise, higher or lower? Tom Cruise is the number 1 box office movie star in the world.
Well, presumably lower
He's
then.
lower. He's number 81. Just about scraped in there. And it really is a list drawn up by people who've just sat at home and looked along their video and book collection.
Yeah.
Office, yeah, that's good.
Well, I think it is a reflection of that, but it's always the same that they you do an HMV poll and it's Pet Sounds, Revolver, Let's Get It On,
Yeah.
Robbie Williams Life Through a Lens, because it's you know it's the people that vote. It's a reflection of like those massive you
Yeah.
know what's big at the moment. I was the most powerful man in comedy. Let's not forget.
Yes.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
Wonder where I'll be this year.
See, if that had been the laziest man in comedy, he'd have got my vote. Interestingly, though, at number 26, Karl Pilkington.
Oh, imagine. All possibilities. Badly Drawn Boy on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and little Carly Pilcoids.
Rick, Susie's emailed.
Yeah.
She wondered if you could give a massive hello to Hannah and Charlotte and all in the sixth form at Cobthorne School.
Yeah.
She told them to listen. Would you give them a massive
Yeah,
hello?
shout out. Yeah,
no
massive.
disrespect, man.
Where are they from?
I don't know, I can't quite pronounce it. Cobthorne School?
Cobthorne
Or-
Massive.
Yeah.
They're probably
Cobthorne
known
Massive,
as.
yeah.
Yeah.
So good luck to Suze and Hans and
When
Charles.
did we start doing
I feel we
dedications?
should, because I've always felt that's just something that's lacking on the show. Interaction with the audience, you know?
Interesting only to the one person whose
Yeah,
name
of
is
course,
mentioned.
of course. But that's,
Yeah.
that's how proper DJs fill out their time. They don't talk about monkeys and, you know, and all that kind of drivel.
Oh, do you think monkeys are drivel, Carl?
Well, we'll still be doing a bit of monkey news. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah,
how
yeah.
much you have a pop at it. It's coming up in a bit.
Yeah.
Got some good stuff this week. I
Looking
know
forward to
it's been a bit dull
Yeah.
last 2 weeks.
Well, no, it's not been dull. It's been totally untrue.
As ever.
Bordering on the impossible. I mean, monkey dating, saying what tree are we meeting in? You believe that sort of drivel. So, I mean, oh, God. Jonathan Ross told a story about a chimpanzee once. It was about, but it was about how it escaped from the zoo,
Yeah.
and it jumped on a bus.
Right.
Okay. Interesting. Funny.
I
right?
did that one.
But it's possible, is there possibility in that
Yeah,
one
but
being true?
I did that one.
I think you said something like he drove the bus, or he was conducting it, or
I
collecting
think you
fares.
said he took it to Spain. Do you see the difference? It's that little stretch of credibility that means it's all shite.
How is Jonathan Ross? Alright? Is he? I wondered how long it would take before his name popped up. How is he? How is the old mushroom? Looking forward to his birthday Monday?
Oh dear. Yeah.
I don't know if any of the listeners saw Ricky on Jonathan Ross's TV show last night.
Yeah.
What? I mean, man alive.
What?
Well, that's not an interview. How is that an interview?
What?
It's not. He wasn't interviewing you. It's like two pals just having a laugh. And if we it was like it was a family do, and you just happened to film it and stick it on the telly. My friend made a good point. It was like any minute his kids were going to pop out, sit on that sofa next to you, and go, "Oh, Uncle Ricky, do the little dance." It was unbelievable. I mean, what were you wearing for a start? What's that? Some tatty old jumper like you'd just been doing some artexing and you'd gone pot round with it. We're having a couple of drinks.
That was Lambretta.
Was it inside out?
Trendy jumper.
How do you keep getting things with the St George cross on it?
What do you mean? That's the only one I've
You've got loads of stuff. T-shirts, jumpers, shoes.
No, I've got a Union Jack.
Underpants.
What's it? A French Connection
But that's
one.
that's not my concern.
Underpants. I haven't got any underpants.
That's not my concern. No, it's just the fact that, I mean, firstly,
Yeah.
the fact that Ricky, for those of you who don't realise, Ricky is friends with Jonathan Ross. They are friends. Now, they've only known each other, what, a year maybe?
About 2, yeah.
It's less, I think it's less than 2. And what worries me is, the friendship's too close.
What do you mean?
Because you're over 40. You see, it seems to me that after the age of 25, men should not be becoming really close friends with other men. It should be like you've had all your friends, you made them at university, at school, and if you were in any walk of life and you met someone at a party or a pub, even if you got on, you would not be phoning them every other day, like going to an awards. What are you wearing, Jonathan? I've heard this conversation. What are you wearing? I think I might wear this. Is it too formal? Is that going to be too formal?
It's not true.
It is.
That's
You're
not
always
true.
on the phone to him. You're always chatting. I'm just going to pop around. Oh, I'm just going to play some tennis.
Yeah, we play tennis.
Always hanging out with the guy, and it's to me it's unhealthy. And this, it's just bled over now onto TV.
hold on,
so,
one minute, one minute.
Whoa. So you're there. It's like, I'll tell you what it reminded me of: Des O'Connor and Jethro coming on to plug his live video.
Or Tarvey and Kenny Lynch.
And then at the end of the interview, after they've been, mutually backslapping,
Yeah.
he gave you a pet.
Coldplay and In My Place on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Hello
Steve,
there,
how's it
lovely
going?
to be here, yeah.
Carl Pilkington there, pressing the buttons.
Great to be here.
Yeah.
How long can you maintain it?
I'm bored already.
Yeah, already bored of doing
Bored already.
that. Every week you start it the same way.
Yeah.
That was not bad though. You actually grammatically made sense, which is
Really?
impressive. Yeah.
Thanks
It's
very much.
a rare treat indeed from
Yeah.
Gervais.
Some of the listeners have already worked out. Got nothing to say at all.
Sure.
Haven't prepared again.
No.
We did come in half hour early to prepare, but instead me and Carl were playing. You had to flick the football into the bin.
Right.
We had 5 goes each, or the world was going to end.
Okay.
And that took up.
That took up a good 25 minutes.
Yeah, I liked it when we came back, and then we started just trying to beat each other in the corridor, and I beat him. I scored a goal. He was gutted because he thought he fancied himself at football, and I beat him. And I was knackered and sweating.
Yeah.
As I walked back to you about 5 minutes ago, you were looking at the records. You went, and this was lovely. You went. Well, we've done the preparation then.
Yeah.
Like a sarcastic teacher.
Yeah, like a teenager, like an annoyed teenager, whose parents have embarrassed him once again. And you beat Carl, did you?
Yeah.
Because you're not. I mean, you're not
I'm
particularly.
not good at football.
Well,
no.
you're not particularly nimble on your feet.
Oh, come
No,
on.
you're not. Douglas Bader is more nimble.
I'm alright. I'm
You're not.
alright. But Carl's sort of, I think he's got more skills than me, but he hasn't got the aggression and the weight.
Yeah.
So I just pushed him aside.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
I'm going on holiday.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm not here next week. What are you gonna do, Carl? Are you gonna do the best of or something next week, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what we've got to sort out.
Well, I can't sort it out. I've got to go to the airport after
No,
it.
straight after the show you've got to do some links.
No,
so-
I'm not doing any links. I said I wouldn't, so...
That's what we planned.
No, we didn't. I said I'd do some during the show, and then you
I thought you were joking.
I honestly can't do it today, so we do some during the show. What are you gonna do? Just put the shows that we've done in this year?
Sorry, guys. I hate to interrupt. This is the sort of stuff we should have been discussing when you were playing football.
I know. Play a what are you gonna play?
Let's have a bit of Foo Fighters. Let's
Okay.
just discuss this off there.
Okay. Foo Fighters there, learning to fly. Steve, I hope the pilot that I get today flying the plane that I'm going on holiday in has already learned to fly.
Oh, well done. That is dynamite. That's that's a textbook link.
Yeah.
That's genius. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Where are you going? What's the story?
Yeah.
Where are you off to?
Sorrento.
Where's that?
Sort of South Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
what are you like on holiday? Are you a nightmare? Are you the, like...
Well, what do you
Because
think
you're
about
quite...
that?
But you're quite... I mean, obviously, you know, I've often said on the radio before that spending any length of time with you is one of the most unbearable things I've ever had to do. I mean, spending a week with you is nightmarish, and sharing any kind of accommodation is... Do you know what I mean? No, seriously, I mean, it's like hell. It's like a living hell. It's like having a teenager.
No, just do.
It's like having
you
a sort of teenage kid who can't be entertained by anything.
just chill out.
Yeah,
chill
you just
out.
chill out, do you? Just Max, relax.
Yeah, Max, relax.
Yeah, sure. And do you? And so, if you're in somewhere like Italy, like somewhere like that, because obviously a very beautiful city and very cultured and stuff. Is that something that you enjoy? Do you enjoy the culture of that, the beautiful architecture, let's say?
A hotel's the same anywhere, because as long as there's
Right.
room service and a nice swimming pool and it's nice weather.
Sure.
If it's not, I'm annoyed. And I need to blame someone.
And is it true that you go, because you go to Italy most years, don't you? Is that because that's the only food you like
I
eating?
like pasta and pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been to other places. I went to France once, and that you can't explain to them to cook it just cook it properly. I don't want any to cook
Yeah,
it. There's blood in the middle of that.
Yeah, sure.
Hungary, it was just, I went there for a while and I couldn't identify the animals
Right,
they were
that were
killing for
involved,
me.
yeah.
So, and I know quite a lot about natural history.
Sure.
And I couldn't identify what was on the plate,
Yeah.
so I don't,
Came
and I'm
home
a bit
early, did you,
squeamish.
after a couple of days?
No, I just got annoyed and I went to McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about McDonald's, is they are in most major cities.
No,
yeah.
but you can't go wrong with
So if I was
pasta
with you on
and pizza.
holiday and you know, we were hanging out or whatever,
Yeah.
and I took you to say maybe a beautiful cathedral, is that
Yeah.
something you'd enjoy? I can't quite imagine you actually taking the time to...
Well, as long as it's not a very long walk, we don't have to stay there more than a couple of minutes. I'd love to look around places.
Right, so you'd look at the cathedral.
Yeah.
That's taken, you know, that takes people's breath away, you know,
Yeah.
people travel from around the world to see that. You would,
Yeah.
and how long would you
I don't
stay
think they travel
looking
around the world to see it. I think they go somewhere
Sure.
and they go, well,
And
we might
there
as well
it
look at the
is.
cathedral. You
At the
can't miss it. They're huge.
Yeah. And would you sort of spend any time looking at that? Would you just sort of soak in the atmosphere for a moment, or would you?
I'd look at it and I'd go, that's brilliant. And then if there was any sort of soaking in, I can do that later when there's nothing to look at.
Right, what
There's
you
less to do.
Your memory of it later when you're in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
you can sort of,
sure.
you know,
And would you? So can you be kind of in awe of something like that? The beautiful architecture and the fact that
if it's big, okay. If I go in the cathedral and it's I've seen bigger, I go, oh, I've seen bigger. If it's the biggest I've seen, I go, that is huge.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That lets you off.
Yeah.
Sure, because you're a sort of man who gets bored, and this is true, Carl, you may not be the familiar with this. Ricky Gervais is a man who gets bored drinking a glass of water.
It's boring.
Because it's not flavoursome enough.
No, it's not
not got enough flavour.
It's absolute bore. The only Jane's got me onto fizzy water, which at least got something there.
Right.
But I only drink that when I'm sort of dehydrated in the middle of the night. I never drink a drink of water.
No.
It is boring.
Yeah, yeah. But that's why you've always got headaches, and you're always
Apparently, yeah.
moaning and stuff.
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
it's
And that's
sort
one of the reasons I hate you.
Is it?
But when I say hate you, I don't mean I hate you. I didn't mean I didn't mean to blur it out that strongly.
Yeah.
What I mean is, if I'm spending a lot of time with you, I
Once,
grow to
right, he
hate
said,
you.
right, we're in the BBC canteen, and I was sort of like, and he just put his knife forward, and I said, I'll never eat with you again. I said, what's the matter? He said, you annoy me. I hate eating with you. It annoys me. It looks like a child food. It's just, you eat chips and sausage and rubbish. You don't eat, look at you don't touch your vegetables, you don't drink water. He said, he really got
Well, I
annoyed.
was, because you've got this, like, this hatred of anything that's good for you. You won't eat any form of salad. You just...
Why do I eat salad?
Because it's good for you and
Lettuce
need
is
it.
boring. Lettuce is absolutely boring. Cucumber boring.
But,
you know,
but the thing is, you see, I admit that lettuce and cucumber have not got much flavour, but that's why people will add, say, in Italy, they'll add a lovely dressing. Maybe
Yeah.
some olive oil, maybe some balsamic vinegar.
well, you embarrass yourself, because the good thing about a nice, mature lump of cheddar cheese is you don't have to have any dressing.
Although you add some anyway.
I put a little
You
bit of
often
olive
put
oil in it, and
a
maybe
little
some
bit of
mayonnaise.
maybe
But,
some
you know,
Thousand Island dressing.
on a Ritz cracker, you don't need it, it's just extra.
Sure. Well, good luck. I noticed you're wearing is this your travelling gear? You got the sweatpants and the t-shirt, the free t-shirt.
Yeah.
Looking to get an upgrade, are you? Or?
I'm going first class anyway.
Sure.
Badly drawn boy, spitting in the wind on XFM 104.9.
Are you going to be taking in any of the culture in Italy? Is
Yeah.
that something you do?
Yeah.
The
well,
opera? love to see you
don't
at
know
the
about the opera. I've never been to the opera. I do like a, you know,
You
bit
like
of
the opera, do you?
Yeah, not. I wouldn't sit through a whole one, but I mean, I like the songs they take from it for that World Cup one, and those two fat birds that they sung in Shawshank Redemption was good.
Yes.
But I think you know, I haven't gone into it extensively. I haven't studied the art.
The art of opera.
Also, it's in foreign, so you don't really know what's happening.
It's in foreign.
Yeah, so you don't.
That's annoying for you.
Yeah, yeah.
What about, are you a fan of any of the great English operas? Like, the Pirates of Penzance?
Yeah, Gilbert and Sullivan. To me, Gilbert and Sullivan were like the probably
their day equivalent of like Richard Stilgo getting together with Tony Slattery, and then 100 years later people go, it's brilliant. It is like they might as well I don't know, make any episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Right, yeah.
Into an opera, and in 200 years' time they'll be going, that's genius.
Yeah.
Listen to this one, look, this is Party Quirks.
Yeah, Amdram Societies. They do.
Yeah.
We're step. Because I was in the Pirates of Penzance once in an amateur production.
You used to like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I did, that was,
although
yeah,
I
from
did
a
watch
scenes.
it when it first came on Channel 4 about 15, 20 years ago.
But we did the Pirates of Penzance when I was in an amateur dramatic society in Bristol, the Bristol Operatic Society, Light Operatic Society. I don't know why I was involved, because I can't sing. My audition, I thought, this is how desperate they were for blokes. I swear to God, right, I can't sing, you know.
Well, you?
Yeah, alright, calm down. And, I went in and they said, so what are you gonna sing? I went, well, I want to surprise you. They said, do you want a piano accompaniment? I said, no, I don't think so. I went to the back, I swear to God, I went to the back of the room and I just sang, Thumbelina, Thumbelina, tiny little thing, Thumbelina dance, Thumbelina sing, Thumbelina, what's the difference if you're very small? 'Cause when your heart is full of love, you're 6 feet tall. I just did that. And they just looked at me like I was the weirdest freak they'd ever had. Immediately put me in the chorus, because that was how desperate they were for blokes. We rehearsed it. I couldn't remember the lyrics.
Thank God you were doing Thumbelina.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
dear.
I couldn't remember the lyrics.
What was it
whatever reason.
for? Was it Gilbert and Sullivan?
It was the Pirates of Penzance.
Oh.
There weren't enough blokes, right, so that we had to double up. So some of the pirates had to double up as the policemen who were chasing the pirates. A little bit problematic in the scene when the policemen and the pirates have a fight. That was a little bit tricky. And the worst things, there's this sequence where, like, the sort of the daughters of the Major General, all kind of like, oh, beautiful, something like, you know, oh, beautiful little girls are we, la 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 la. And the women they must have all been over 40. I mean, real kind of toothless crones, creeping around in their 90s.
Is it the sort of women that buy one of those sort of porcelain dolls
Exactly.
from the TV and go,
Yeah.
look, I've had a baby. It's not a real baby. It is a real baby. I'm gonna stab you.
Yeah.
One of those.
Exactly. It's the sort of women that you'd see maybe on TV's Bargain Hunt. You know, the kind of contestants you get on there. Those women who sort of, they're in Amdram and they think they've clung on to their looks, but they'd have never made it in the guy who was playing there's a guy who's supposed to be an 18-year-old prince, an 18-year-old pirate, the Pirate King. He must have been 40 if he was a day. He also directed the show though, so he got to prance around in these thigh-high boots. Ludicrous. It was so embarrassing. It was shameful, really.
I'd love to go to Amdram.
Amdram is a whole other world. It's such an incredible place. Because there's so much backbiting and envy and...
Really?
Oh, it's incredible. It's worse than the real world of theatre and TV. It's unbelievable. Because the same old people get to do it every year because they can hold a note.
Can we go along?
You would absolutely adore it, Gervais. It is
Just film it, a secret
absolutely
camera.
blinding.
Have you ever done anything in a play, Pilk?
We know this. Carl, you've performed,
Just
haven't
did the talent show, didn't I?
you? Yeah.
Oh, the talent show, yeah.
Remind us of the talent show.
That's when I did Walk Like an Egyptian, dressed up as a woman,
Yeah, yeah.
and did me magic trick,
Oh, that's that. Is it an egg?
the egg one.
Yeah.
What was the egg one again?
When actually I've ruined it now saying the egg one, but I went on stage with like an hanky,
Yeah.
and I said, at this point I was dressed up as a caretaker in it.
Sure.
Don't know why, can't remember.
No.
I was stood there with this hanky over my hand.
Yeah.
I said, right, you're gonna love this one.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna make a bird appear in front of your eyes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh god, what's it gonna do? So I'm stood there,
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
pulled the hanky off,
It was an egg.
had an egg, and I said, oh, it hasn't been born yet.
That's brilliant.
They loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went wild for it, did they? Round of applause.
Yeah.
How old were you? Was that when you were like 17?
Was that, apart from your paper round, was that the high point of your life so far? Is that what's the
No, I didn't really
Carl,
want to
I'd
do
like
it.
to see you take that on the road. Or maybe at least up to the Edinburgh Festival next year. Many of the listeners are aware, Carl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people. You're not
Never having a go.
when you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, it's like I say, the first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. but you know, like you know, Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of, oh, right, interesting.
What do you mean?
No, just you know, I've said before about I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What
I don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming
But
from.
Steve knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Carl used to carry around a book that was called the top 50 freaks of all time?
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says of all the people you've discussed, Carl, in the past, including some of the people from your odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite of all?
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. You know, I mean, let's just recap on
Well,
some
there's
of
Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No, not impressed with him.
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs,
Right.
And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
Not using the gift that he's been given.
What would you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer. Just,
Yeah.
But yeah,
What else
what are
was
the
there?
others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman, you were fascinated by him, he used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's the one who, he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So, like, every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And, yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so as the appearance, his biology is sort of like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one at a long time though. That's
Only for a day?
suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the Pillow Man would just be a bit of a drag.
Whereas if you're going for a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So yeah.
Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Carl. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Carl. Wendy says, if Carl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat?
You see, it depends, doesn't it? I mainly eat just so I keep going. I'm not that bothered about, because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like you're like a
dog.
horse.
I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch...
Any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you
it's
don't
just-
like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now, if you go into a toffee shop, there's like loads of
Sorry?
different...
Where are you going to find a toffee
So
shop?
you're in a fairy tale.
You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek. And
And you go into a toffee shop. What are you
what's your
doing?
point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
Just come from the candlestick maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like what, and I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going
Up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because he's got to get down to the pea green boat that he's sailing off in.
no.
Good
but,
morrow.
well, forget the toffees.
Could I have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee? That's all they've got.
Well, maybe 2. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book, and you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're eating.
What do you mean?
In Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you. Right? Not worth the risk. And there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
Have
are
mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
Yeah,
As soon as there's a risk, take it off. Take it off the
I
menu.
agree. I totally agree.
Not worth it.
We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then. I'll have that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we were talking about sayings and that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway. Okay. Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that?
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Well, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this. Just
Okay.
give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about. Really.
So, well, if that was it, they just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No, what
they mean now-
Now he's ever lived in a
Sorry,
glass house.
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass
Well, no,
houses?
what they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, plasma tellies, ornaments.
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about because
No,
you'll break it.
no, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass
It's
house.
a metaphor. Carl, what is an analogy?
It's sort of like a little story told quickly. Isn't it?
It's a
It is,
little
though, isn't it?
story told quickly. To what end?
Well, it depends what the story is. You see, I just prefer sort of, what you say is what you mean. So people who live in a glass house have to answer the door.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean,
Because-
you may be a genius, because I don't get that. People who live in glass houses have to answer the door.
Okay, let's hear his explanation.
Because the people knocking at the door will be able to see you because it's a glass house.
But you have to add a number of other things, other caveats. Surely, if you live in a glass house, don't walk around naked.
Yeah.
If you live in it.
These are literals.
But just the idea that in your head there should be sayings for people who live in glass houses. Who is it that's living in a glass
No,
house?
well, I'm not talking about them. It's just that if everyone else is bringing up about these people who are living in glass houses, let's get to the real problems they've got.
He still hasn't got to grips with the idea of the
No, but it's-
metaphor or the simile.
Well, here's another saying, right, that I learnt recently from a mate, right? Oh, there's an elephant in the room.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but explain it to me.
It's like how, whenever we go out for something to eat or a drink or something, it's normally after about 5 minutes, the sort of topic gets onto the shape of my head.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's interesting how, like, I'm the elephant in the room, right? Nobody's talking about it. You mention it once, suddenly it's the talk of the town. It's what I mean. Everybody starts joining in, going, well, yeah, it is round, but it does suit you. And these are people who I don't even know sometimes, and they're all dipping in. And that is an elephant in the room.
So you don't want people to discuss the shape of your head or the lack of hair. You would feel better. You would feel happier that they didn't mention that.
Sometimes I think it's better that it's out there. It's made me a stronger person, though. It's the same way, we were talking about religion and that. Samson Delilah,
Yeah.
he got weaker without hair. Whereas with me, I think it's made me stronger.
But would you ever wear a wig?
Not really.
What
I
was a
mean,
long wig like Samson?
well, the only time I wanted a wig was when I did jury duty once, wasn't it? And it was annoying that I was sat on the jury right in front of, like, these criminals, right? Everybody else has got disguises. The judges have them wigs on, right?
That's not disguise.
It is a disguise. That's a disguise. That's why judges wear them, right? So
No. Well, then why did they print their name in the paper and have a picture? What do you mean it's a disguise?
it's a disguise, isn't it?
No, if it was a disguise, they'd go in with one of those glasses with a nose and the beard attached. If it was a disguise, all judges would look like Groucho Marx if it was a disguise.
Well, I'm just saying that's what annoyed me when I was sat there on the front row, right? I couldn't have been any closer to the criminals, and that, right? I was sat there and I thought, why didn't I just pop a little wig on or a pair of glasses?
I would have loved to have seen you in the front row at Crown Court.
No,
I'd
because
love to see it because in this country you're not allowed to show pictures of jurors. You can't take photos in a courtroom, so there's always these sketch artists that draw drawings, and it's on the news. The idea that we'd have seen 11 people and a sort of Krusty the Clown figure would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the artist do an interview, because it would be like complicated people. Oh, hey, he looks characterful, and then just a little round head.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown sitting on the end.
Well, that was Elbow and Red of Asleep in the Back. I love that. It's
Great song.
Got sort of early Peter Gabriel, and that's wonderful. Well, we were talking about like your birthday and everything,
Yes.
and presents, and then I found out I'd been signed up to DJ at
Yes.
a club in Canada.
Looking forward to that.
To get you in. To
I got in for free. My friends
I
got
love
in
that.
at £1 off.
I was just when the record was playing there, I said, why did you do that? Why did you try and get in free? Right? He goes, impressing my mates. Now, how impressive is it that Steve Merchant can get you in a place for £1 off?
Oh,
Yeah, what would save money? Go with Steve. If they recognise him or have heard the show, you get £1 off. That is great.
I'm a quality discount.
I don't know what you like more though, because I know you, and I think it wasn't just the acclaim and the fact it was the pound off you liked.
The money off was exciting to me.
That was great.
Any discount would have been fine.
I imagine you made them all buy you a drink with
Several.
to the value of a pound.
It ended up costing them a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, have I ever? This is probably the most embarrassing of those entrance stories.
Yeah.
I was down in South London once. Went down to some party that was taking place in some kind of swanky bar, where there was a doorman on the front and a charge. I think it was something mental, like a tenner to go in. It was crazy. It was ludicrous. I don't know what I was doing down there. And I was in the queue.
We'll establish what you mean by swanky later, because that could be.
And it was a posh place.
Was it?
And so there's a queue outside, and there was one of these doormen who thought it was like kind of Studio 54. He was like sort of, choosing people who could come in. Yeah, you two come in now. And I've been there for ages, obviously.
Oh,
I was on my own because I got there late.
And clogs.
Exactly.
I've dressed up for this.
And there were these two girls next to me. I'm thinking, if I'm in a queue, I've told you before, if I'm in a queue and if I'm stuck with two girls, I'm thinking, oh, what a great opportunity, use the old merchant charm.
Yeah.
And so I'm there, and I'm sort of thinking, I kind of sort of give them a nod or whatever, a wink.
Yeah.
And they're loving it.
Yeah. They moved to the back.
They're putty in my hands, really, because you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, to really seal this off, I'll get us in. Like, I'll sort of skip the queue. So the guy sort of coming along, he's picking people off, the doorman, and I just grabbed him. I just grabbed him like that. And I said it so everyone could hear. Right? And I thought this was brilliant. I said to him, how much is it? He went, 10 quid. I went, I'll give you 7. That was my bribe. I'll give you 7. That's the whole £3. No, that can't be right.
No.
He must have said a £5, and I said I'll give you 7.
Yeah,
that makes more sense, doesn't it?
That's giving him a £2 incentive.
A £2 incentive.
That's it. I'll give you 7. You can make up the 10.
Exactly.
You can, if you let me in, you can put in 3 yourself, mate. That never works, does it?
He said to me. He said to me, I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna have a kip, I think. I'm so tired.
Was it percentages that put you off?
That frazzled me initially.
I mean, it's a funny anecdote when you're giving him £2.
Yeah.
It's even funnier when you're getting him
when
to
he's
put up
paying
stuff.
me as well.
Oh, I love it. Right, we're gonna play a record. Then we're really gonna concentrate. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais Show.
Steve Merchant's also involved. Go to bed.
Oh, Cypress Hill, Superstar, still to come. We've got such great bands as New Order, Ash, Nirvana, Radiohead. Song for the Lovers at about 2 o'clock is a beautiful song by Jimmy Webb.
Lovely,
Steve.
looking forward to it.
Now, it's Steve's birthday. It's XFM 104.9. He's 27.
Yes.
We're both a little bit hungover.
Yes.
Now, every link we've started hasn't really sort of...
It's not really come to fruition, if I'm being honest.
Nothing's happened.
I mean, sometimes they're just all out, there's just blunders in them.
Yeah. Or like this one, we've already run
run out of
aground.
steam.
Yeah. I think it might be a mixture of us, like we've been on this station for a little while, we're losing the will to live.
Bored.
But we're going to buck up our ideas.
Can I just ask a
I
quick
said
question?
buck up, by the way, just
Can
in
I
case.
just ask a quick question though, because I mean,
listening to want to complain.
my birthday today, and therefore last night I went out, and that's my excuse for being a little bit tired and a little bit hungover.
Yeah.
What's your excuse? Because you didn't come out.
No, I know.
I mean, you conscious you had the show today. What were you doing? Staying at home, just drinking?
Yeah. Having a little a couple. Me and Jane went.
What time
to
did
say
you go to bed?
goodbye to someone about 1.
Well, that's stupid. What I'm saying is, no, I mean, it's your name all over the show. I'm a nobody. I got no reputation.
Yeah. Although
Thankfully.
you get a quid off in most clubs in
That's
Camden.
true enough.
I think just drop. If anyone out there, if you're sort of like tall, sort of, I'll answer your birthday, but I'm just got to do a description. This is nothing nasty. It's pretty sweet. If you're sort of like a lanky sort of geek, and you can do a Worsley accent, then maybe you can pretend to be Steve Merchant and get in a quid off. Is that right?
That's fine,
Yeah. No, because some people would take that as a personal...
That's offensive. Sure.
Yeah. So we were talking about... should we play a record? Is that link too long already before
already
we
bored.
actually got to something?
I'm already bored.
Carl, we've got to get to something. We've got to do
Carl,
something.
why don't you contribute something? You've been silent.
Now that is scraping the bottom about
It really
like,
is, isn't
we're
it?
in trouble. Oh no. Oh, we're failing. Who can we bring on that surefire always delivers
Audio
snappy-
dynamite.
Yeah. Carl.
The big guns.
Come on, Carl.
I was just thinking, there is nobody else who looks like Steve.
He's done ya.
That's outrageous. Although, to be honest with you, that insult has resurrected things.
Yeah. Well done. Play a little tune, and then we're
Got a little bit of a sniffle as well, I think.
Yeah.
Cold or something probably coming off.
A bit late there, Carl. You should have come in a bit earlier there. Suede there.
What I like is the complete lack of professionalism on our part.
Yeah.
It's like we've got a bit of a headache, a little bit
Yeah.
tired, just, that's it then.
You can't fight that. You can't fight that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, as you well know, Rick, there are certain DJs on this station, you know, drunkards, there's at least 2 I know of who are smackheads.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
you know, they still manage, they still manage to
yeah,
do a
but
good job.
even the ones that aren't, that try their best, are rubbish.
It's true enough. I'm not saying we're still not the best.
Yeah.
And it's effortless for us, Rick.
I
as
know,
you
yeah.
We're coming up with dynamite stuff here.
Yeah, I
You
know.
and we're not even, you know, fighting on all cylinders.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant, a little
Hi.
bit hungover. We all are, but he can't really take it. He's loud.
Wait, there is tickets to give away, Rick. I don't know if we should mention that.
What? Who is it for?
Joe Strummer.
Oh yeah.
And his band, the Mescaleros, play Brixton Academy, we think, this evening. A little bit more information will probably be...
So go along, just in case. If you say you're Steve Merchant, pound off.
Well, the doors are at 7 o'clock, and it's £17.50. Unless you've won the competition, Rick, that I'm about to set, and won yourself a pair of tickets. There is someone, right, in America, celebrating a birthday today, okay?
Yeah. More than one.
Same
I
day as
think.
me.
Yeah. No.
No, but there's a
Go on.
specific one I'm thinking of,
Go on.
right? His name, Rick, is Dwight Schultz. Okay?
Yeah.
If you know the answer, obviously don't give it away.
Yeah.
His name's Dwight Schultz. He's an actor.
Yeah.
He was particularly big in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's also celebrating a birthday today.
You're gonna say what's his name?
I'm going to say, what character is he best known as? What TV character is he best known as? And you can win yourself some tickets for Joe Strum and the Mescaleros at the Brixton Academy.
Dwight Schultz.
American actor, TV character of the 80s, very famous.
Oh yeah. See, Christian's giving away a trip to Salem, Massachusetts.
That's bizarre, actually, because I was in America recently and I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and that's not a prize.
Isn't it?
Believe me, I mean, we were there, we were sort of obliged to go because we were at someone's birthday. It's rubbish.
Really?
I mean, that's a really poor trip. That's such a boring
He probably can't believe his luck. It's probably the biggest thing Christian's ever had to give away.
great thing about-
and you've just dissed it.
The great thing about Salem, Massachusetts is that
I don't think we're good for this station. I don't think we're selling this station like we should.
well, you know, it's its own fault, you know, it shouldn't have hired us. I blame it, you know.
Yeah, and paid us in advance.
Yeah.
They're lucky we turn up.
No, I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and this is the place that's famous from, like, Salem's Lot and the Salem witch hunts, famously.
Famous for all things Salem.
Salem.
Yeah, anything with Salem in the title,
But
that's what it's famous for.
the whole
Yeah.
place has gone mad over, like, witches and
Yeah.
anything. Basically, it's like there was the Salem witch hunts in, like, 17 something or other, or
Yeah.
16 something or other. So the whole place now is just full of, like, people dressed as witches.
Yeah.
And then it's like any supernatural stuff. So that I went in and it was amazing. It's quite
Like
expensive, right?
Glastonbury tent.
It was it's awful. Every single place there, every single shop is kind of horror related.
Yeah.
And I went to the Boris Karloff World of Terror.
Yeah,
Right, it's amazing. You went in there, right? I don't know if Boris, the famous horror actor, has actually been involved, but you go in there, you walk in the door, you've got to put these 3D glasses on, right? And it's supposed to be this kind of chilling journey around this kind of like a sort of a crypt, you know. And you put these glasses on, and I couldn't tell. They were so poor. I couldn't tell what was supposed to be a 3D effect and what was actually three-dimensional.
Really?
In real, so I couldn't tell if like the floor was actually sloped or if it was just appeared to be.
Yeah.
Whether the wall was actually kind of knobbly or whether it was kind of 3D glasses. It was so much, and it literally took about 45 seconds to get through it. And
Imagine
he just
that.
came out blinking into the light again. It was
So
rubbish.
so I just want to throw this over to Carl. So there's Steve Merchant with funny glasses on in this place horror, and he's walking round. Do you think he scared people, Carl? I've set this question out, haven't I? I've loaded the
I
question.
know
haven't
the answer you're fishing for. Carl, do you just want to have a dig at me? Because it's coming up to 2 o'clock, and you've not really put a lot of effort in today, slagging me
I don't
off.
do it on purpose.
No, he doesn't do it on
Go for
purpose.
it.
He's just an honest northerner, and he can't lie. He's like George Washington, but without the wooden teeth.
Yeah, Salem. I didn't mean
We've
to say-
lost it again, haven't we?
I-
You didn't mean to say
I
Salem.
didn't say Salem.
This is such bad
That was
radio.
just
This
the
is
word that was in
really.
the tip of my
I mean,
tongue.
genuinely, this is bad radio.
all- Good, alright, so the Pope's dead. Any other big news?
There was that thing I told you about last week, the foot-long spider eats chicken.
What does this mean to them? They're going to think that the world's been taken over by them. It's not like this never We're not going back. There's a foot-long spider on the loose.
Are these people bright, though?
Well, let's have a look. Antarctic scientists. Yeah, they've probably got an O-level or
But we're
two.
looking at penguins all day.
Yeah.
So how bright have you got to be?
What do you mean?
Well, what are they doing?
Well, I don't know, do I? But they've been chosen. It's probably cost millions of pounds to set them up there.
Oh, Carl.
This, I'd say, this is like, for scientists, this is like Big Brother. You know what I mean? This is like a big dinner. Scientists there watching this, finding out what's going to go on. There's little challenges that they give them, little tasks.
It's like Celebrity Love Island without the sun and slappers. Go on.
I think what else has gone on?
Well, while you're thinking, Carl, I should just tell you now, you threw that question out earlier, why are ginger people historically mocked? We've had a couple of responses on the text, 83XFM. Again, as ever with XFM listeners, don't believe what they say, don't trust what they say. But one of them,
have we got any respect for anyone in the world?
I'll get back to you. Pete in Tooting, now again, I think this is nonsense. He claims that the reason ginger people are disliked is because Judas was ginger. From the Bible. I don't know where he's come up with this idea.
No, I've heard that.
But I mean, are there a great many people from, you know, the Middle East who are ginger?
Well, that's probably why he stood out.
Sure.
And he was probably fed up, and he thought, I'll get him back.
Yeah.
Maybe...
Unless he had his hair dyed ginger when he was on the witness protection scheme.
What
Which
did he
presumably
do?
he had to go into
What-
after
what-
all came out in the book.
What did he do? What
did he do?
why
He
has got a
stitched
bit of a
up.
bad
He
name?
stitched him up, didn't he, to the Romans, didn't he, Judas? Didn't he do it for 40 pieces to silver or something? I'm not big on the Bible, but apparently,
Incidentally, if you'd like us to stitch up any kind of missiles for 40 pieces of silver, just get in touch, 83XFM, we're willing to do that for you as well. But that's one explanation. There's another one here which is, again, I don't believe this for a moment. It says here, ginger people get a lot of stick because in Elizabethan times, people with ginger hair were told that their mother had slept with the devil. And that was why their hair was ginger. So, there's two options. Maybe if you've got some more, you can, any more spurious thoughts, then get in touch. 83XFM. But yeah, I don't know. Carl.
So, there might be truth to both of those. I mean, the point is that if either of those are true, they were already being picked on, if you know what I mean.
Right.
That's the point. It's sort of like, maybe that's not the total root of it. Well, the Judas thing might be the root of it. The first big, ginger to, do some, a little bit
So if
off.
he was bald, then all bald people would be like,
Yeah.
get a hard time on that.
Yeah.
Well, we do mock you behind your back anyway, Carl. That's going on, don't worry.
So, play a record and think of something that's happened to tell these poor scientists what's going on in the world. All you've come up with so far is the Pope's dead and there's a big spider. What is that?
That eats chicken.
The Pogues, rainy night in Soho. I hope there isn't a rainy night in Soho tonight, Rick. I'm sure you're one of those who agrees with me. So we just had an email here from a guy called James Lee. He says, hi, just writing a bit of info on the scientists in Antarctica. I'm a scientist who's just come back from one of the Antarctic bases called Halley, or Haley. There are 15 people staying there over the Antarctic winter. The scientists are looking mainly at the atmosphere, things like the ozone hole, and meteorology. I think there are 6 scientists staying over the winter, as well as a doctor, electrician, mechanic, and a carpenter, and so on. And so he's saying, they do listen, they have the internet, so they maybe could listen to the show on the internet. And if you get the chance, say hi to Francis, and the rest of the winter is for me. Sure, no problem, yeah, thanks, James. But yeah, there they are, that's what they're doing, that's what they're up to.
But why are they asking you for a message, though, when... I mean, have these people got families and that, or are they convicts, or...
No! What do you mean? Of course they probably do get messages from their family.
Well, why are you doing one for one? Is that... I mean, say, do you know, like, you see it in, like, Porridge and stuff like that, where if someone's in prison and no one visits them,
Yeah.
and they sort of look a bit fed up and that, is this message that you're doing for like, people who don't get a letter in the post from...
Brilliant. So they put this on the shelf until someone doesn't get one. All right, Hargreaves? Yes, sir, I didn't get a message today, sir. You have got a message, Hargreaves. Oh, what, sir? Hargreaves, you have got a message. Really, sir? From Ricky Gervais. Really, sir? And then they give it... Don't talk, please, there are scientists listening. Try to keep the talking shit down to a minimum today.
What's annoying me is, right, they're saying they're stuck over there for months, but it seems to me like they're wasting a lot of time. Right?
Why?
Well, you're saying they probably watch DVDs, they're saying they've got internet access.
Yeah.
Yeah? They're
Well, I'm
listening to-
wrong.
Listening to messages,
Yeah.
get the job done, go home. Do
Well,
it in
that's
a week.
well, then we don't have to tell them anything then, because they listen to the internet. If they've got the internet, then, yeah, it's a waste of time. Good point, play a record.
Well, hang on, before that, here's a good point. You've had long time to research what's been going on in the world. We've just had an email here from Nicholas who says, why haven't you told them about the recent pig Olympics that just went on in China? You've missed that one, Carl, once again.
Who won?
First of the gang to die, Morrissey, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, you failed miserably. The scientist stuck away. Right, one more chance. What's happened in the last couple of weeks? Just one more chance to... What have you seen in the last couple of weeks?
Well, like I say, I don't really watch the news and that, so
Right.
I can't tell them about that. But in a way, I think they're better off not knowing. I think that's the only good thing about being out there, isn't it? Not knowing about the bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I can't help them there.
They don't need to look at the weather, do they?
No, not enough. No. But tell you about the Pope and that.
Yeah, pretty extensive.
What about the EU constitution and the no votes? What do you make of that? What are your views?
What's the problem there?
Oh, this isn't
not knowing.
broadcasting though, is
It's better
it?
not
This is
knowing.
nothing. Come up with something.
Well, the fat baby then, the fat baby that they found, that was on the telly.
Right. Well, what was that?
It's just a little fat baby. That,
Oh, for
I don't know what, it's just a little fat kid and that.
what? Tell what?
It was on the telly, it was on the telly and
But
that.
what was on the telly? You just said fat baby, fat baby, fat baby, fat baby on telly, fat baby on telly. Do you meant to be telling them what's happened in the world? Tell me about the fat baby on telly.
It's just, they've found some, there's this illness called Momo, right? And, they've just got this woman had a kid. It's really sad, it was on Channel 4 and that, right? And, kid's born.
You sure it wasn't Jimmy Carr?
Kid's born and that, right?
Momo?
It's called Momo,
Isn't that
yeah.
that Black Music Award?
No, right, little fat baby and that, and there's only 3 of them in the world. These little fat babies.
Right.
And
So
one of them,
they're in danger.
How fat? Are you not telling what do you mean? How fat are they?
6 stone it was only 2. And there's 3 of them in the world, and there was this one, and there was one in Brazil.
Are they like
And,
endangered? Is that the problem? Because there's only 3 of them in the world.
I don't
I'll be
know.
worried. This is like a conservation campaign.
Hunted for their flesh.
No, it's sad. If you I know it's easy to
You should
joke
laugh,
and that,
but
but if
you
you've
can make
seen
an
it, you'd
interesting
go, oh, it's a bit sad and that.
Well, I haven't seen it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, I've told you, there's 3 of them in the world.
Okay, what else was on telly?
Something I watched the other night, that was just good. Again, you know, I learn stuff from the telly. I don't watch the news.
Yeah, well, you don't learn stuff on the telly.
Well, I'll
You
tell you
know,
what, though.
you told us there's a fat baby in the world.
Forget about them.
There's a spider eats chickens, and there was a fat kid. That's
Alright, forget them in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
We'll give them Rockbusters later to do, right?
Iceland.
But what's her name? I'll tell you what is interesting, Steve.
What?
I didn't know that much about it. Autism.
Okay.
Oh, good. It's just some more entertaining stuff on XFM 104.9.
No.
Just to cheer up people. Go on, and what? Come on.
No, right. Have you heard about it, Steve? What it is?
Autism.
It scares me to death when he comes up, when he touches on a serious subject. We've been talking about wheeling a dead pope round, the Chinese don't age well, and ginger people are hated, and now we're
say
going to
that.
touch on a really, I mean,
No, I said-
my heart's in my throat. Go
Yeah,
on,
I
Carl,
said-
then
I
tell
said
me,
the little
tell
fat
me your
baby.
insights to autism.
Right, well, there was this, again, Channel 4 coming up with some good stuff at the moment, right? It might have been Channel 5. But what's the name? It was
the attention span I like!
it's these people who, they've got like this autism thing going on.
Yeah.
And, they sort of take in a lot of information, they get sort of they get so into it that they know everything about that subject and what have you, right? And there was this lad who, he knew everything, right, about EastEnders.
Right.
He sort of, the cameraman was saying to him, so, you know, why EastEnders and that? And he said, oh, I don't know, I just like it. And he said, I remember when I first watched it was a Thursday, it was 5 to 8, Pauline Fowler walked in, she had a pink jumper on, she said, alright, love. And he remembers everything from that moment on.
Yeah.
Right, and everything. Which is great, but then, the way the programme was making out, it was almost like they were saying it's a disability.
Right.
When in a way, it's more like a superpower.
Sure. Like Rain Man.
Well, if you can take
It's
it...
Rain Man.
No, I'm
he
not...
has special autistic powers.
Oh, God,
we must send for Rain Man.
I don't know what to do.
So
I don't know what to
so
do.
he would be a
But
great
there's
contestant
other
on Mastermind.
things.
So a autistic
Sorry.
mastermind, he'd
Well,
be
what I'm
dynamite.
saying is, don't be watching EastEnders, though. Sort of, why didn't they give him an encyclopedia and say, get into that?
Sure.
That'll be useful.
Yeah.
Keep him away from EastEnders. Wasting his time there. But I don't think it is a disability.
No.
Yeah, there are other things, and they're not. It's also autism is a matter of degrees. From what I know, and I'm sorry to have to do this, but I feel that I have to at least be the voice of reason, as ill-educated as I am on the subject. But I think there's degrees of autism. I think some are higher performance than others. There's other issues with it. It's not they're just got good memories. They don't go around doing tricks for people because they can remember stuff. There are other issues with it. Do you know what I mean?
Right, well, I mean, they seemed a bit...
But you watched the programme, what did you learn? That he knows when Pauline Fowler came in?
Yeah, I mean, there was other bits where they couldn't control their emotions and stuff.
Oh, that other little bit, yeah.
But the main bit of it was he can soak up information and stuff, and I'm just saying, it didn't seem really bad. Do you know what I mean? There's disabilities where people say that's a bad disability. It's like how people say about,
This is brilliant. This is just like this is amazing to be in the room with this man. It's incredible. You just wind him up and listen to what comes out.